Do you have those tight rhomboids on you? Where you always have tight muscle knots between your shoulder blades? Or you even experience pain from time to time? If so, I'm sorry to hear that, but you've come to the right place because I'm going to show you 3 simple moves to help reduce that tension and to help you eliminate those tight knots between the shoulder blades. So if you're not familiar with my videos, I like to show 3 movements that go in sequential order of another, where the first movement, I help you reduce tension in that muscle, and the second movement, I help you restore joint motion in that area, and then the third movement, I help you reinforce with strength or stability so we can really hold on to those changes for longer periods of time. Now, if you're experiencing intense pain in this area, don't be a hero. See a local medical or movement professional before trying any of these movements. Now let's get started. Now, like I already mentioned, the first move, we're going to reduce that tension. Quick anatomy lesson: your rhomboid muscles attach at the medial border of the scapula and then go to that thoracic spine. So that's going to be our target zone. First thing we're going to do is loosen this up with a ball. I got a lacrosse ball here, but you can use a tennis ball, golf ball, anything you can find really. And what you're going to do is place the ball right by your either tight muscle knots or right in this area. And then you're just going to simply lean up against a wall or a door here. And then you're going to seek and destroy the tight spots. So I'm going to roll up and down until I find, that really intense spot. After I find that, I'm just going to park it here. After a good 30 seconds of just holding that sustained pressure, we can start to add some movement to it. So now I'm going to protract that shoulder blade, and I can even pull my arm across here to intensify or lengthen that muscle. I could do mini circles around that tightest spot. And if that isn't intense enough for you, you can start to look away and side bend a little bit to really enhance that muscle stretch while you have that sustained pressure with the ball. Now for me, I found one tight spot, but you don't have to discriminate here. Don't be afraid to move the ball around. And like I said, seek and destroy those tightest spots. Now I like doing this up against a wall. You could do this on the ground, but it's harder to control how much body weight you can put into that area. So doing it up against the door or a wall here, you either lean in to intensify it or lean off. And it's way easier to find that pressure that you need. So after a good 60 to 90 seconds, we should reduce a lot of that muscle tension before we move on to the next move. Now movement number 2, we want to restore range of motion in this area. And there's a lot going on back there. You got the thoracic spine, the shoulder blade, and of course your rib cage. So I'm going to show you one movement that's going to hit all those areas at the same time. So what you're going to do is, from this quadruped or all fours position, you're going to lower yourself down, almost like if you're going to do a child's pose stretch. But you're going to keep your hands right in front of you. I like to think of making a diamond with my hands right around my forehead, and you're going to flare your elbows outward. From here, you're just going to slowly round your upper back, trying to separate those shoulder blades, and then you're just going to think about channeling your inner Zen and breathing into that tension. So in through the nose, out through the mouth, for a good 10 or 15 breaths. And I know this seems super simple. That's because it is, but really effective to get that area to start loosening up on its own. Bonus tip: if you have a yoga or an exercise ball at home or at the gym, we can use this to enhance this movement. So what you're going to do is bear hug this ball, really trying to separate those shoulder blades, and then you're just going to park it on top of this ball, and then think about breathing your chest into the ball. And as we compress with the ball on the front side, it should help us get that posterior expansion that we're looking for to really separate all the muscles and joints in that area. Again, in through the nose. I'm thinking of inflating a balloon right here between my shoulder blades. Out through the mouth. After a good 10 to 15 breaths, you should feel that area starting to expand a little bit more, and that's really going to help us restore motion in this area. So I showed you first how to reduce that tension using a ball. I showed you how to restore motion in that area just using your breathing. Number 3, I'm going to show you how to reinforce some stability in that area, again, so we can hold on to those changes for longer periods of time. So move number 3, all we need is a resistance band. I just got a standard loop band. They're like 10 bucks on Amazon, super cheap and affordable. What you're gonna do is hold the band out in front of you. You're gonna shrug your shoulders up, shrug down, really keep those suckers parked. And then from here, you're just gonna pull that band towards your chest. From the back side, shrug up, shrug down, keep that parked. pulling band towards chest, trying to let those shoulder blades approximate a little bit, then have those shoulder blades protract as I release that band tension. We're gonna rep out a good 10 to 15 of these band pulls. If you're doing this correctly, you should really feel this firing between those shoulder blades. You should feel those muscles contracting, which is good, but you're also getting blood flow to that area, which is also gonna help pump out some of that inflammation and reduce some of that tension. From the side, shrug up, shrug down, keep them parked, pull band towards, feel a really good activation between the shoulder blades, having a good time. Do a good 10 to 15 of these. Now, if these band pulls are too easy, there is a level 2 I'll show you. So similar movement here where we pull band towards chest, but I'm only gonna pull about halfway. Again, keeping shoulder blades tucked. And then from here, we're gonna bring the band up towards our forehead and then down towards our belly button, and then rep out a good 10 to 15 of these, just going back and forth here. Seems simple, but it's a lot harder than it looks. On the back side, pull band about halfway, again, keeping shoulder blades down, band up, band down. I'm shaking, and I've only done about 5 or 6 reps total. If you feel like you're starting to fatigue or those shoulders are starting to rise, pause it. You don't want to keep feeding into any poor compensation patterns. Just go until you have form or fatigue failure. Well, there you have it. I just showed you 3 moves that can really help reduce those shoulder blade knots or those tight rhomboids, and it doesn't take much equipment at all. So to recap, first I helped you reduce that tension just using a simple ball. Number 2, I helped you restore that motion by really guiding some breath into that area. And then number 3, I helped you reinforce with some strength and stability just using a simple band. And afterwards, this area should be feeling really good. Like you got some blood flow to that area and it's starting to loosen up. If you have chronically tight muscle knots, this is a routine you might even want to do daily, or you'd really want to do it as a warm-up before your upper body day. And if my philosophy makes sense to you, where I take a body area and give it the 3 R's, where I reduce tension, restore motion, and reinforce with strength or stability, let me know in the comments what body area or muscle group you want to see next. And if you want to take your mobility to the next level, check out my Mobility Suite membership in the description below, where you can take advantage of my hip mobility programs. Or if you have a lot of tension in this area, my Spinal Mobility 101 program is for you. So take advantage. And as always, keep it moving.